How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Friday, July 12th, 2024, and I'm back with another public service announcement. Before I get started, I would like to thank those of you that have gone over to my son's channel, Illuminated D, to consume the content that's over there. For those of you that have subscribed to his channel, and those of you that have liked, shared, and subscribed, I appreciate that, and so does he. We appreciate that so much. And please like, share, and subscribe, because I feel like, well, you know what? I'm not going to say I feel like it is my opinion that there's something for everybody over on my son's channel, Illuminated D. Once again, we thank you. So, YouTube, we got to talk about something. And what we got to talk about is this thing as it relates to women, single women that have children. I'm hearing a lot of noise on these YouTube streets where people are well, they've always been saying that, a woman who has children does not have the same dating market value versus a woman who doesn't have children. But then there's also the concept that an older woman doesn't have the same dating market value as a younger woman. So there are many nuances to this, but I'm going to specifically address the one concerning single mothers. So I was watching some content on the Anton Daniels show, and there was he was writing to a young lady that basically was saying she was a single mom. She basically was telling the women, hey, you're being delusional if you think that as a single mother, whether you have one baby daddy, two baby daddies, three baby daddies, or whatever the case is, you do not have the pick of the litter when it comes to a certain quality of a man. Now, when you're talking about Pookies and Ray Rays, well, yeah, it don't, boys, them bad boys, hey, listen, you're going to always have the pick of the litter when it, in regards to those type of men, if that's what you want. But for whatever the reason, women will, when they're younger, not all, but the majority will throw away their young, youthful years to these guys in the street, these guys that these hood boys, these boys out there that's slinging dope. All they want to do is get high. They don't want to do anything productive. So women will throw away their youth and just not take any value in their womb. And then once they get to be, 30s, late 30s, mid 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Now they're seeking out a man of value, a man that can add to their life. But that's not even the topic that I want to address. What I want to address is this. On these YouTube streets, people are always making comparisons to, well, a single baby mama ain't gonna have the same pick of the litter that a woman with no kids don't have. Well, check this out. I got one even better for you. Why isn't anyone talking about the women that are single that have slept with an enormous amount of men? They have sexual partner on sexual partner on sexual partner. Listen, I personally know women that have slept with over 100 men, 40 men, 30 men. People want to try to say, well, it all depends on her age. All depends on her age. If she's 40 years old but only slept with 10 guys, that's acceptable. No, it ain't. That's still not acceptable. So what we're not talking about is the fact that you have these women that don't have any kids, don't have not now kid, 30s, 40s, but they have been ran through. They have been ran through and they have experienced a multitude of sexual partners. What about that kind of woman? Because see, the problem with that kind of woman is it's going to be hard. A woman that has that many sex partners and had that many sexual experiences, she cannot unsee the things that she has seen. She cannot unfeel all those different variety of experiences, those different penises that have entered inside of her. And, you know, I would have to, it begs the question, is it better to try to establish a meaningful relationship with a single baby mama, maybe with one kid, versus a woman who done been ran through? Because I'm telling you right now, a woman that has had a multitude of partners, it's hard to establish an emotional connection with them outside of the physical, and even doing the sexual act. It's just to her, you just another dude. Listen, let me tell you something. Those kind of women, you'll find that they go from men to men. You know what I'm saying? They might hook up with a guy, date him for 3 months, 6 months, a year. But I guarantee you that this type of woman would not be able to hold on to a long-lasting relationship with one person. And so the problem becomes, what is the best way of going? Well, in my opinion, the best way of going is, don't seek to marry a woman with children, and don't seek to marry a woman that has been, ran through, that has been very promiscuous. I would say don't do either. But let's be realistic, gentlemen. The dating market has piss in it. And it has been this way for a very long time. Remember, I'm not some young whippersnapper around here that have not experienced a long life. I've traveled the world. I've seen many different places and many different female faces, so I can speak to certain topics. And I can also speak to the topic of, it doesn't matter if this type of woman who has been ran through by a variety of men, she won't be able to establish anything meaningful with a low tier guy. Let me explain what I mean by a low tier guy. A low tier guy is not a Pookie or Ray Ray, but he may only have a high school diploma. He may have not gone further to try to obtain any type of education, any type of technical experience. So this guy that kind of got working at the warehouse, and he probably making $25,000, $30,000 a year. Then you have the mid-level guy who has, went a little bit beyond a high school diploma, that have maybe gotten, an AA, you know what I'm saying, or maybe even a bachelor's degree, or even some type of technical skill, like an electrician, a plumber, and what have you. That guy is probably going to be making probably about anywhere from $50,000 to maybe, $60,000, $70,000 a year, depending on where he lives at. But as we know, typically when you live in a place where it costs more, where you make more money, it typically costs more money to live there. So it kind of just balances out and offsets. But then you have the guy who has gone above and beyond, who has a high level education, a graduate degree, who has had a successful career. This type of man has made over six figures or better for at least 5 years or more. That's a man of value, right? And if a woman cannot, if this kind of woman, I guarantee you, this kind of woman will not be able to establish a connection with a lower tier dude, lower level dude, a mid tier dude, and on to a high value dude. She won't be able to establish that. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. I dealt with a woman, very attractive on the surface, seemed very submissive. But the problem was this woman had a very, very promiscuous lifestyle. This woman had, I would venture to say, during our conversations, she had been with a whole bunch of dudes. So really and truly, that kind of woman, oh yeah, she was, it was exciting in bed. But even though I wasn't in no relationship with her, and we was just kind of like cool homies, we just kind of like kicking it, or just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Nothing, there was no title. It's just cool. She was like the homie. But, it was always a roller coaster with her, because you and I both know, gentlemen, as a man, if you've been intimate with a chick, smashing a chick, whatever you want to call it, sooner or later, she gonna start forming an attachment. Even the ones who've been ran through, even the ones that get ran through, they form attachments with the dude that they've been intimate with. Now, it wasn't really difficult to keep this person's attention, because of course, I'm not gonna sit and say I paid no bills, but hey, if I'm hitting it on the regular, I don't mind. I'm a generous guy, always been. And I done already told you, gentlemen, my opinion on a generous man. A generous man, like I said, if you kicking it with somebody and she, and she up under, and to your understanding, you the only one she's smashing, she the only one you smashing. And in that case, she bring it to you whenever you want it. Well, guess what? It's okay to share your resources with that kind of woman. So, but I wouldn't say anything long term. So, we need to talk about this, YouTube, because we need to stop being so fixated on the topic of single baby mamas. And you got these women out here who don't have not now kid, not a one, but they done been ran through. Let me tell you something. They are just as problematic as that single baby mama. And in some cases, and in some instances, that type of woman will be even more problematic than the single baby daddy. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize, YouTube. She will be more problematic than the single baby mama with the crazy ass baby daddy, Pookie. Let me tell you something. I know what you're saying. Big D, you're crazy. How you figure that? Well, I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked. Here's the thing. The single baby mama, once she realized, if she has some substance to her, and it all depends on how she was raised. So, hey, everybody have a slip up. Everybody have a oops. It can happen to anybody. So just because a woman has a child don't mean that she didn't get misled by a Pookie, or that there wasn't a oops. Whatever the case is, maybe she just got sloppy, didn't require the dude to wear a condom. Okay, you got your baby now, but now she realizes she don't want to do that struggle love with Pookie, and she realizes that some way somehow, I gotta create a better condition and a better environment for my child. And at that point, that type of woman may be salvageable if you want to entertain a woman with a child. But now, and even with that crazy ass Pookie, listen, Pookie can be controlled. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, Pookie, you know what I'm saying? Bro, I don't want no problems with you, whatever. But if you keep harassing, she gonna have to put a restraining order on you. Pookie, you know what? I don't want no problem with you. But you know what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there was a time I ain't mind boxing. I still don't if I have to. But listen, I'm a little too old for that. I ain't gonna be out here tussling with you. But what I ain't gonna let you do, you ain't gonna disrespect me, and you ain't gonna jeopardize my life. So Anybody who got any type of common sense can read between the lines. So that you can reasonably deal with that. But this girl that's done been ran through, listen, you're gonna always be wondering what she doing, where she at, who she fucking, who dick she sucking. Because let me tell you something. Women like that will find a way on a lunch break to go get they bikes blowed out in the car. You want to know how I know? I'm speaking from experience because I know it. I done seen it and then dealt with it. I done seen others deal with it. So that type of woman, it is hard to trust that type of woman. And let me tell you, let me enlighten you on something else, YouTube. Even the Pookie, the Ray Rays, and the Nook Nooks, even them dudes eventually they don't even want to deal with a chick that's done been ran through, they homeboys done ran through. So even they don't want to deal with that kind of woman. Not even them. They'll fuck them. But I don't necessarily see them if given an opportunity to taking this chick home to their mama or auntie or sister or whatever. I just don't see them doing it. Listen, I grew up in the hood, so I know. Them dudes don't even dope boys don't even want no chick that have been ran through by their homeboys. Because with a man, even at the most menial level, the lowest tier, the lowest caliber dude that you think that you can find, even that guy has a sense of worth and self-respect. And it ain't no way he can look himself in the mirror knowing that his three homeboys used to blow his girl bike out. So, in closing, YouTube, we really need to start paying more attention to this, and we need to start addressing this, because this whole thing about all single baby mamas, women that have kids. Listen, it is something else out there that's even far more deadlier than that and far more dangerous than that. It is the woman who don't have no kids, who decent looking, but is very, very promiscuous. That kind of woman, those kind of women are out here, and all you got to do is go search it up on the CDC website. African American women are in the highest percentage of the ones spreading STDs. YouTube, we need to start talking more about this and addressing this, because, yeah, I get it with the whole baby mama thing. But what I'm telling you right now, the women that don't mind, getting their bike blowed out in the backseat of a car, don't mind, she done been laying up with you, sleeping with you all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, hell, she leave you on Sunday night, she in a hotel with a dude getting fucked. Not only is that nasty, but it is very, very, very disrespectful. Listen, I done traveled this world from corner to corner, and I've met prostitutes in different countries that didn't carry themselves like that. At least they had a little bit more character and a little bit more respect than to be get down like some of these women over here in the West. It's one thing as a prostitute, you selling yourself because for whatever the reason you feel like that's the only thing you can do to make ends meet. That's one thing. But to be a woman that has no problem with sleeping from man, jumping from man to man to man to man, all these men ejaculating inside of you, passing their essence on to your body. Do you not understand that every time a man ejaculates inside of you, he deposits a piece of himself inside of you. He deposits his essence inside of you. And after a while, when you got all this energy from all these various men inside of you, it's no wonder that most of these women have mental health issues. So my question is, who's to blame? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Because these kind of women, they had to be raised by somebody. But that's going to be a topic for another day. YouTube, hey, I appreciate your time. And as always, listen, you got to strive no matter what it takes, to know that you can be more tomorrow than you are today. Peace.